if you were asked to ask some of our old scholars clubs, they would tell you stories that, say, 20 years ago, you would go to the car park of a training ground and you would see P plates on mum and dad's cars. Now you're seeing P plates on Hilux vans with electrical conduit at the top or a trailer at the back with landscaping, whatever the case may be, where these younger people, even those that have come from background that might normally transition into white collar type work, have realised that, hey, the money might be actually
That's right.
on the other side of the fence.
Welcome to Building Perspective, the Master Builders SA podcast. I'm your host, Will Frogley. Join me as I speak with some characters in the building and construction industry.
Sleep in, did ya?
Whether you're just starting out
Jeez, no worries.
or you're about to knock off, it's good to know that your money is still on the job.
You in that caravan.
Seabus Super, making hard work pay off.
Right, as someone who's played a lot of grassroots sport over the years, it's something I'm really passionate about. And I've got to say, this is one of my favourite partnerships we've got at Master Builders. It's a brand new one with the Adelaide Footy League. I think it's a match made in heaven, and it's great to have John Kernahan, the CEO of the Adelaide Footy League, here with us today. Welcome, John.
Thanks very much, Will.
So it is very exciting, mate. We've partnered for the next 3 years with the Born to Build program to encourage more people into a trade, and footy players make great tradies, don't they?
They do, and I think probably what has drawn us to this initiative is this is the first real opportunity that we've been able to add a value to our clubs outside of our core business of football. So if at a time when young people, whether it be male or female these days playing Australian rules, have so many other options to pursue, for a club to be able to draw some emotional connection to their players and send them into the direction of a really honourable trade that extends itself to providing so many other layers as we go forward, re-employment of kids when those men or women become qualified tradespeople, it's just almost becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah, spot on. It's good for everyone, this partnership. I mean, we're crying out for more people in the industry, more trades. We reckon we need an extra 15,000 tradies within 4 years just to meet demand. And like I said, from my time playing amateur sport, there's always some good young kids coming through the club that are great players, but maybe a little bit lost off the field. And here we've got a chance to get in front of them and give them a really good opportunity to get into a great industry and earn some good coin.
Well, I think the thing is we hear a lot, albeit anecdotal, that even if we only refer to the key issue at the moment around society being the cost of living, and at least relative to football, where they can start to follow up other opportunities to play football for money. If there's that offset pressure by having a job, which is, I think if you were looking at it from a parent's point of view, that would be the most important thing rather than how much money they're earning. This just ticks all those boxes. And again, it allows for urban legends to develop that in 20 years' time, a young bloke might be talking to his tradespeople saying, well, this is how I started. I started at the Tea Tree Gully Football Club or the Modbury Football Club, had no idea what I was doing, and had this opportunity to work for such and such, and here I am with my own building company and got three apprentices to go with it. So they're the sort of stories that we like to spitball as to what the benefits of this relationship's going to be.
Absolutely. And your players, your coaches, your supporters, club officials, you name it, they're all very much the target market for the building industry. And that's why we're so excited that our Born to Build program is going to be able to connect them all. And one area we're really excited about is we want to try and replicate this boom we've got in women's footy at the moment with women in trades, because on the tools, women are it's increasing, but they're only maybe 2% of all tradies are female.
Yeah, and listen, if we extrapolate that out, 10% of our playing population are women.
Yeah.
So we're growing.
But what was it, say, 5 years ago?
0.5%.
Exactly.
So we're growing as an organisation as well. So we need to be a little bit more diverse, and rather than simply implement initiatives that are only targeting our tradition. We call them our traditional participant, being men, but we need to be a little more global and provide opportunities, because the workplace environment doesn't discriminate against who can apply. And if the best person is applying for the job, then that's how it should go. I get that's a utopian view of looking at things, but all organisations need to be a little bit more diverse. Even the traditional male-dominated areas of a work site or a building site.
Absolutely. Now, the Adelaide Footy League, that is a massive organisation. So tell me a bit about how many clubs there are, how many players you've got running around every weekend. It's huge, isn't it?
It is, and I think we lose sight of. It's only when you're being asked the question by people such as yourself that you realise how big you've become. We've got 12,000 players, nearly 2,000 of which are women, and then 10,000 men. Then underneath those players, we then have another 15,000 junior players.
Wow.
Of those 15,000, I'd need to check the exact data, but it's around 3,000 or 4,000 girls.
Yep.
And then 11,000 boys. So when you think about it, the league is what it is, but our clubs represent something like 25,000 playing participants.
Yeah.
And it's only when you think about those numbers, and I recently put that to a potential sponsor, and when you think about the amount of players that we have on any given Saturday and how many people they touch from week to week, we pretty much fill the MCG every Saturday, which is nearly 100,000 people.
That's incredible, isn't
The
it?
AFL census says that you should multiply your actual playing numbers by 8. Mums, dads, sisters, brothers, boyfriends, girlfriends. We actually dilute that a bit to being just times 4. And even that number's impressive at 100,000.
Yeah, absolutely massive. So you can see why it's such a big market that we want to tap in to fill all those trade vacancies in our industry. And we're really excited that our program, Born to Build, is going to be really visible throughout the league, giving kids free career advice, connecting them with employers for work experience, job opportunities, training, the works. It's all going to be happening, isn't it, for 3 years?
Well, I think what's the unexpected benefit from this, Will, is when we aligned ourselves with an organisation, as we have with yours, we've actually had to have a look in the mirror too to see what areas we could have improved or should improve so that our image reflects your image. So there's been little things like websites, our communication platforms, all those things that we're just trying to make a little bit more professional, understanding we're a volunteer-based organisation, but that doesn't mean that we need to be run like a volunteer-based organisation, that we can have some professional standards. And we're actually now using your standards to lift ours.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good to hear. It really is a great alignment, and I'm really excited to see what happens in the next few years. So for those who might be listening who don't know much about the Born to Build program's something that Master Builders runs, backed by the state government. And basically we have a couple of field officers who are the trade background themselves, and they go out to schools, sporting clubs, career expos, etc., with our members who's run some of the most well-known building businesses in the state, whose career started with their first day on site as an apprentice. So it's about, rather than saying, oh, little Johnny, you're not doing very well in school, maybe you should be a tradie. It's like, well, no, I want to be like this person here. Like they look like they've got a really good life and exciting. They've got a cool car, and I want to be like this person. We think that's a hell of a lot more motivating. Well,
if you stereotype trades as against white collar, if you were asked to ask some of our old scholars clubs, they would tell you stories that, say, 20 years ago, you would go to the car park of a training ground and you would see P plates on mum and dad's cars. Now you're seeing P plates on Hilux vans with electrical conduit at the top or a trailer at the back with landscaping, whatever the case may be, where these younger people, even those that have come from background that might normally transition into white collar type work, have realised that, hey, the money might be actually
that's right
on the other side of the fence. So it's become less stereotyped to demographic, I think, and that's really positive, I think, for everyone.
Yeah, it's a great industry to be in regardless of your background. And there was such a big push a while ago to get every kid to go to uni that now there's a massive shortage of tradies, and because of that the pay is really good, and you're definitely going to have tons of work going forward.
Listen, even if I was to only refer to that as a father, I've got 3 kids, and whilst you want your kids to go off and do things and experience life, I would be really sad if my kids had to leave Adelaide to pursue a job in the eastern states. So if these types of initiatives, whether it be Born to Build or SAPOL that we have another relationship is with, means that we can keep, even as a father, we can keep our kids closer to home, I'm really happy with that.
Yeah, I really feel like Adelaide's got its mojo back in the last couple of years. There was a period there where pretty much all my mates had moved away, and I really feel like in the last couple of years, people thought, wait a second, it's actually a real gem we've got here in Adelaide. It's Australia's best kept secret, and it really is a great place to live and, raise a family. I think people are appreciating that a lot more now than they were a few years ago. And I really like some of the events that are starting to show up as well, like the Live Golf and the Gather Round. Obviously, they've created a real buzz and, I guess, pride in South Australia. It's great.
Well, if Premier Malinowskis has done anything over the course of his first 12 months, now we're into his second year, he has certainly paid attention to listening to these types of initiatives that have normally been at the lower end of the priority list. I think as a community across South Australia, we're seeing the benefits of his focus to not having us be considered a back step or not in my backyard type of organisation. And I think we're all benefiting from it.
Yeah, I should give a shout out here, really. Peter Malinowskis, Stephen Mulligan, the Treasurer, Blair Boy, the Skills Minister, they've got around this partnership and the Board to Build program from day one. So, they've been really great in supporting this partnership, making sure it goes ahead. And Peter, actually, surely we were the only state that's got a premier who currently plays in Adelaide in a footy league.
Yeah.
I remember saying to him, I really love the fact you're still playing grassroots sports, because the minute you start getting out of touch, your mates at the footy club will set you straight right away, won't they?
Well, I'm pretty sure he gets a few jabs every now and then that, geez, you've changed. But one thing he hasn't done is change. And I've known Peter for a long time as well, and he is the same bloke today as he was 15 years ago. He's just got more of a profile to go with it. But all of those ministers that you just mentioned, and I probably should include Susan Close to that as well. All four of them, you can imagine how many proposals they get in front of them on a daily basis. All four of them looked at this with really keen eyes and said, this has some sort of credibility or merit to it. So I guess we were lucky from the start that we presented it in the right way. And they've all jumped on board. I think we should be all really grateful for that.
It's great. I mean, a lot of industries are battling with skill shortages at the moment. It's really bad in construction. I know that's a top priority for the government to address. But then also I think it's good that we're shaking things up. We're not going down the same boring pathway. Like I said earlier, if, a kid in school, oh, Johnny, you're not doing very well, maybe you should start a trade. I mean, those days are done. And I know from my experience, there's a lot of kids who aren't engaged at school at all, but one place they're really engaged is at the local footy club.
Yeah.
And so if they're going to listen to someone who's going to give them some advice about, career opportunities, I reckon they're more likely to hear from someone from Born to Build and who's involved in the senior team at the footy club than they are from a teacher in a classroom.
Well, basically, I think, and this is a really broad brush approach or view of it, young people still need mentors.
Yeah.
And the amount of feedback that we get from parent groups, they say it's really hard to keep delivering the same story to your own kid.
Yeah.
So if we can start to open up the avenues for them to learn the lessons from other mature age type people, then our storytelling just simply continues to evolve, and we can relay those stories. So again, it's something I used at the start of this chat, that it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, that you simply pay it forward, that today's apprentice becomes a tradesman, and then he employs people within our community. And geez, it's a powerful story. It really is a powerful story that we're actually doing more than just football.
Yeah, absolutely. And you helping us get the message out there is really going to be helpful in the years going forward. If anyone's listening to this and they want to know more about building construction and the opportunities, everything from various trades, what a typical day might look like, what you get paid, how you get qualified, we've put together a really good website, which is good for kids and their parents. It's born2build.com.au. That's born2 the number. build.com.au. It's a really good resource. You can check out the opportunities. And then we're obviously working with you guys. So there's job opportunities in the industry will be posted through your social media and on your website. We're really getting around the local footy community, and it's going to, start a lot of really great careers, hopefully.
It is. And our website will go live straight after the season is finished. We certainly wouldn't want to change anything mid-season. All those technology and comms type initiatives that will allow us, all our people, an easier access to this initiative will be right in front of them.
So talking to some of the presidents in the league, what's their reaction been to this new partnership?
Oh, the one unexpected, and we came across this, you and I came across this as we were spitballing this whole initiative, was the employment page
Yeah.
That has been the number one, that it comes in a link form. They can send it out on a weekly basis to their own players' parents.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that those people can apply for jobs. Clearly that doesn't mean it's going to get them the job, but at least we're presenting it to them. It's about lifting our own standards. Now we're introducing a service from people who can do CVs.
Yeah.
So it's okay sending them a link for a job.
Yeah.
But
where
how do
to
they
from there?
how do they present? So the more we go through this, the more layers there are to it that we need to up our ante to provide a service. So now we're going to have CV assistance.
Yeah,
even if it's just a blueprint or a really basic template for them to work from, so that they can present in a contemporary fashion.
Yeah. It seems to me that the league is really booming in terms of numbers. By the time this podcast goes to air, the grand final will be done and dusted. But the numbers, I mean, the footy's definitely not relinquishing its number one title anytime soon, is it?
No, it's not. But you've also got to still evolve. And football, we can't hide behind the fact that football is Australia's favourite game either. We certainly get competition from soccer, cricket, although it's a summer sport, but certainly soccer is always going to be there, particularly as the immigration profile of Australia opens up, because European countries or Asian countries where soccer has been their primary game, they're not going to come and say, oh, look at Australian rules, we'll play Australian rules. They'll go with what they know. So if we want to continue to be everything we can be to more people, we need to expand our portfolio, our brief or our offerings to them. And it's not just football, it's about being more than football, and this is just another part of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So tell us about some of the other key partnerships that the Adelaide Footy League's got.
We have a similar type initiative with SAPOL.
Yep.
That one came about because we were I was actually sitting at a bus stop. I was sitting in my car in traffic at a bus stop, and I saw a poster on the bus stop that was advertising the armed forces. And I thought, how good is that? That's a really good initiative.
Yeah.
Not that great for us, because if you start sending kids to the armed forces, they've
They
got to
won't be
leave
playing.
the state.
Yeah.
So that becomes a self-depreciating initiative. So we changed we changed it a bit. This was a few years ago now that we changed it to SAPOL. They can stay here. SAPOL loved the idea because
They need a lot more policemen and women out there
short,
as well.
They're short as well.
Big
So
time.
all of a sudden what happened, and at least for SAPOL in this case, it became more than just the Adelaide Footy League. They've gone to Michael Carter over at the Football Federation as well.
Yeah.
So I think we can all play a role in making sure our community is a sustainable one, whether it be policing or whether it be, in this case, adding value to some resourcing. Police Credit Union have been a tremendous, and probably the one that is not badly, because we get used to them we've been joined at the hip with them for so long now. Channel 9.
Yeah.
They are just, their sense of spirit towards the community really plays a strong role in us being able to deliver our platform for a start as a community sport. But the people that they've introduced us to over the journey have raised our profile a little bit as well. So, listen, they're probably the three or four. West End or Lion Nathan, as they're referred to now, have been a 24-year sponsor.
Yeah.
When we talk about a 24-year sponsor, that speaks to our culture and our loyalty to the people that have been good to us for so long, because with the amount of numbers that we have, any of the brewers would love to have access to our database. But we also need to be mindful that Lion Nathan have been such a key partner.
Yeah.
We just don't jump around. We know what we know and we stick to it.
Yeah, the key to long-term partnerships are definitely they're mutually beneficial.
Correct.
So, and I think like with this partnership we've got with you guys, is there's definitely benefit for both sides here. You're helping your guys off the field, and we're plugging that massive skill shortage we got.
I think we also can forget what was a really important issue. Some of those partners that we were just talking about, none of them jumped off board during COVID.
Yeah.
And we cannot, when I speak to my board about our proposals that are coming in, we still refer back to the dark days of COVID.
How many weeks of games got cancelled?
Half the season. We only played 9 weeks and a shortened final season. But at a time that those organisations were pretty much had their doors shut as well, particularly for first half of the year, we went to them and said, we fully understand. If you want to revisit your sponsorship, we would be more than understanding.
Yeah.
None of them did.
Yeah, that's great.
So it's a really humbling experience when you consider those people that were really good to us at a time when they could have jumped off out of self-preservation. Yeah. We're now paying that back.
Yeah. I mean, it is a great, the Adelaide Footy League is a great organisation to be associated with. It touches so many people, and just being involved in community sport, it just teaches you so many important life skills, and it's a release for a lot of people. It gives them a positive avenue, and a lot of young guys and girls, if they don't have that positive avenue, they can kind of go off the rails pretty easily.
Well, I would argue that participating in a team environment or a club environment is probably symbolic of how you would conduct yourself in a workplace environment, and vice versa. Yeah. So the skill sets that you use or you learn, doesn't matter how good you are at kicking or marking, the skill sets that you learn in a football club to be able to engage as a team member are no different than on a work site, for example.
Yeah.
So they're interchangeable skills, and I think that's the biggest issue. The biggest benefit to this whole relationship is the people. They will learn that life's not that difficult or different from playing footy on Saturday to how I'm expected to conduct myself on Monday at work. Yeah,
that's right. And whether it's footy or working in building construction, they both suit hardy people who like reward for effort. So, if you want to put your feet up at footy, it's hard to win a premiership. And, if you want to be successful in the building industry, it's hard to be lazy as well. But if you're prepared to work hard and have that goal, the rewards are out there, aren't they?
It is. And I'm really looking forward to, we keep talking about, well, we have spoken about legacy. I'm really looking forward to that first milestone where we see the first batch of kids gainfully employed, pursuing a career. Yeah. That's going to be a really humbling moment for, I think, both organisations.
Oh, totally. Like one day if we can look back and think about all the kids we've helped, get their foot in the door and earn good coin in the building construction industry, help change their lives, help them provide for their family. Yeah. That's something I hope you and I can look back on one day and be proud of what we've accomplished.
Very much.
Yeah. Well, John, it's been great to have you on the podcast today. Look, really excited about this partnership and working with you closely over the next 3 years and hopefully beyond.
Excellent, Will. Thanks very much.
Excellent. Thanks a lot, John.
No
Cheers.
Bye.
Thanks for joining me on Building Perspective. For more information on Master Builders or our guests, please visit our website at mbasa.com.au.